We have executive talks, what is next, new instruments and new services. This is the discussion area of discussion for our next panel. Now I'll begin by inviting our moderator onto stage, Ali İhsan Güngör, Executive Vice Chairman, Capital Markets, Board of Turkey, Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Merkezi Kayıt Kuruluşu. Welcome. Sorry. And now I'll invite our speakers to join this panel. We have Jalil Tarif, Secretary General of the Union of Arab Securities Authorities, the United Arab Emirates. Welcome. And up next we have Dr. Önder Halisdemir, CEO and Board Member of Misyon Bank, Turkey. Our next guest is Denis Buryakov, Member of the Executive Board, Senior Managing Director for Corporate Business, National Settlement Depository, Russia. Welcome. And last but not least, we have Ms. Elif Gönençer, Assistant Secretary General to Turkish Capital Markets Association, Turkey. Welcome. Enjoy our next panel discussion.
Good afternoon, our distinguished guests. I would like to thank you one more time for being here, joining us. Up to this time, we had comprehensive panels, speeches, and presentations. And I would like to express my sincere thanks for everyone who are here in the afternoon session. As it has been discussed in previous sessions, we are seeing a rapid development in new instruments and services that are transforming the operation of capital markets. In our panel, we will discuss about a wide range of topics, from regulatory challenges to the role of digital blockchain technologies in modern financial markets. Our panelists will share views on key areas such
Türk kahvesi
as
hanımefendi ne
regulatory
içersiniz diye sordu.
harmonization,
Türk kahvesi
the future
dedim
of
ama sonra
role
Türk
of the future
kahvesi
role of
içmedim.
CSDs, the rise of tokenization, and the role of custodians in the new era. We will also discuss how countries, including Turkey, are adapting the new developments in digital assets and blockchain. The format of the session will include 2 rounds of questions and allowing each panelist 5 to 6 minutes per question. Now, I would like first briefly introduce our distinguished panelists. Mr. Jalil Tarif, Secretary General of Union of Arabian Securities Authorities from United Arab Emirates. Dr. Önder Halisdemir, CEO and Board Member of Misyon Bank, Turkey. Mr. Denis Buryakov, Senior Managing Director of Corporate Business, National Securities Depository of Russia. Ms. Elif Gönençer, Deputy General Manager, Capital Market Associations of Turkey, the self-regulatory organization of Turkey. First, I would like to start with the role of regulatory harmonization that will play in ensuring the success of cross-border investments and market integration. I would like to start with Mr. Jalil Tarif, and I would like him to elaborate on that issue a little bit, and how do the Union of Arab Securities Authorities contribute to aligning regulations across markets?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to address this important gathering. In fact, when I got the invitation, I was thinking of attending this event seriously, but I have some other commitments in some other places. And it happened at the same time where we have this disturbance along the region due to the conflict. But I think I decided to come and share with you some thoughts, because I do believe that what you are doing as backbone of the capital market is really very important. I am really confident that having a solid clearing, settlement, depository system is really a backbone of any success for any capital market. So this is just my understanding of how these institutions are really very important. Going back to your question, in principle, I think harmonization, it's really a must for any success of any cross-border trading or investment. We have so many positive impact if we have a harmonized legal infrastructure and harmonized rules and regulation governing the capital market. It will enhance for sure the investor confidence, and it will enhance the protection of investor on one hand. It will affect the market, and it will affect the liquidity of the market, since the market can react easily with the harmonized regional infrastructure, and it will reduce the cost. Having harmonized regional infrastructure, it will definitely important to reduce the cost of trading. From our side as a federation, we are established in 2007. We have a member of 17 jurisdictions from 16 countries, including countries from the GCC countries, from North Africa, from the Middle East. And they represent the regulator from this region. So they put together a vehicle for cooperation. Our main objectives are to enhance cooperation among capital market authorities. The federation decided in an early stage that the way of cooperation is by introducing general guidelines for regulators with a minimum rules to be implemented as a guideline. This really because of the different type of regulators that the federation is really consists of. We have a very advanced regulators that they are very sophisticated, and we have a newly established regulators. In order to make sure that everyone will be on board, we decided not to put compulsory rules that be implemented by our members, but to put a sort of a minimum standard whereby regulator can abide with. So in the past couple of years, we have introduced many guidelines related to disclosure, corporate governance, and many other topics, so that regulators can use these indicators to either enhance what they have or to introduce a new one. Recently, we have issued a couple of them, which many of the newly established regulators benefit from this. Having such type of mechanism for sure will help to enhance harmonization. I am not with the idea that to have a unified rules and regulation in the region, because we have so many factors that will really stand against this approach. So I think what we did for the last couple of years is really helping our members to cope with the requirements for developing their capital market.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tarif. As the digitalization evolves, everything is moving so fast, so harmonization, like international bodies like you, is very important for the markets. Now I would like to turn to Mr. Önder Halisdemir. And as the digital assets ecosystem evolves, the importance of the custodians will rise. We are aware of that. Could you please elaborate on the roles of the custodians in that area and their role in the securitization of the digital assets and tokenization, please?
The future is arrived, and digital assets are becoming a part of our lives. From trade to everyday spending, this transformation is redefining financial advancements standards on a global scale. Tokenization assets signal of new version of asset class like ETFs. They make it easier for individual investors to access assets and that require high initial capital. As the investment world enters a new era, custody and proof of reserve services are also gaining prominence. With MiCAR regulation, many banks around the world are announcing tokenization efforts and pilot projects. JP Morgan Chase proceeded 300 billion in transaction through its Onyx blockchain platform, and the others also. On the other hand, while real-world assets are expected to grow by 7% annually, tokenized assets are projected to grow 60%. Northern Trust and HSBC predict that by 2030, 5 to 10% of all assets will be digitized. The immense potential of driving competition between countries and institutions. Every month we hear new announcements, projects, and regulatory changes from Switzerland, United Kingdom, Singapore, Dubai, and United States. As an example, Singapore's Project Guardian initiative, launched by the Monetary Authority of Singapore, lies tokenization. In the race of digital assets, the role of custodians is critical. From identifying the underlying asset to conducting AML and KYC process, monitoring and reporting assets, and performing proof of reserves, they take on responsibility at every step of tokenization process to safeguard investors and investments. On the other hand, private investment and custody institutions stand out when it comes to turning new developments into real use cases and bringing them to the life. While public institutions create a necessary environment with regulatory frameworks, private institutions adopt these regulations on the real world. As Mission Bank born in such a time, we have positioned digital assets and custodial banking among our core areas of operation. We developed the digital asset custody infrastructure with international standards within our technology subsidiary MissionTech, in collaboration with Taurus Technology. Also preferred State Street with the R&D expertise of Turkey's most established university, İTÜ, and leading blockchain technology providers. We didn't limit ourselves to just custody services in digital asset ecosystem. In tokenization, which will reshape the future of finance, we developed the region's first platform in collaboration with the world's crypto giant Avalanche, where we can tokenize various assets classes such as bonds, real estate, commodities, and allowed by regulations. Our platform has the capacity to provide comprehensive services from custody of underlying assets and tokens to token creation, token sales, and the establishment of secondary markets. To sum up, we are at an important time when it is crucial for the countries in our region to take parts in the race, build capacity, and bring their value to global investors. as digital assets are only just beginning to spread. The global ownership rates of digital assets show there is still a way to go and great potential for MENA, Africa, and Eurasia regions. At this point, all the custodian institutions from the countries present here today should also become service providers in the digital asset space. With the capacity and expertise we have carefully developed, our bank is ready to collaborate in this area. Since each country has its own regulation and market conditions, we have designed our model to ensure full compliance with the regulatory frameworks of countries and we collaborate with. This will make it possible to offer a wide range of assets in your country, such as gold, highways, bridges, mines, intellectual property rights to global investors without bearing to investment and development costs. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Halisdemir. You have mentioned the importance of traditional custodians to cope with the new developments in the digital asset area. And it's important by looking at the regulatory point of view, because custodians are very important for the customer asset protection. And as being a regulator, we would like and we would be delightful if you make progresses in that area. As IESCO says, they say same risk, same regulation. And I would like to say same risks, and we would like same actors to participate in the market. Now, I would like to turn to Mr. Buryakov. Maybe he will share some of the experience that they are facing in Russia. And I would like to ask, what are some of the new services in the Russian market that the Moscow Exchange Group, or NST in particular, lead? How have you applied blockchain technology so far in your services?
Спасибо большое. I will speak in Russian, sorry. Я расскажу про собственный опыт и как это реализуется у нас в стране. Если посмотреть вообще на рынок, на то, как он сформирован и какой он был 10 лет назад и какой он сейчас, это совершенно два разных рынка. Какое-то время назад основными участниками на рынке были институциональные инвесторы, юридические лица, которые приходили на рынок для того, чтобы совершать операции в интересах собственных и своих клиентов. Сейчас тенденция меняется, и на рынок приходят физические лица, то есть конечный инвестор, который приходит на фондовый, на финансовый рынок для того, чтобы получить какую-то ценность. И это требует принципиально нового предложения, принципиально новой ценности. И для того, чтобы это предоставить, нужно внедрять новые технологии. Я расскажу на примере, который мы реализовали. Мы организовали платформу, называется платформа «Финансовые услуги». На этой платформе «Финансовые услуги» физические лица могут прийти самостоятельно, не через профессионального участника, который работает на рынке ценных бумаг, банк или инвестиционная компания, а самостоятельно приходит, у него есть интерфейс. Если неотъемлемая часть любого сейчас продукта – это интерфейс, мобильное приложение или какие-то возможности такого рода. И может зайти и приобрести разные виды инструментов. Как классические, так и в этом году мы запустили ЦФА, цифровые финансовые активы. Сейчас коротко расскажу. И физическое лицо может прийти, идентифицироваться автоматически через систему, которая у нас существует, пройти идентификацию, не приезжая физически в банк, не приезжая физически в компанию, и пройти эту идентификацию и приобрести ценные бумаги или, например, открыть вклад, вложить деньги в ту или иную финансовую организацию через платформу единую. Но так как классический рынок на текущий момент не удовлетворяет полностью потребности инвесторов, которые хотят инвестировать деньги в рынок, а наша задача, мы ее перед собой видим, это увеличение капитализации рынка, я бы сказал, удвоение капитализации рынка. Для этого нужно как раз привлечение именно на фондовые ценные бумаги, на фондовый рынок именно инвестиций. На текущий момент у нас в России это в банках на вкладах деньги, которые не работают на фондовом рынке, это порядка 50 триллионов рублей. Это в долларовом эквиваленте где-то полтриллиона долларов, где-то так. Это лежат деньги, которые просто на вкладе в банке, банк оперирует этими деньгами, а хочется, чтобы люди именно приходили, инвестировали в инструменты финансового рынка. И одним из инструментов, который мы предлагаем на платформе, это цифровые финансовые активы. Это эмитенты выпускают цифровые финансовые активы, токены на что-то, что не является на классическом рынке каким-то предметом, недвижимость или золото, например, и через токенизацию таким образом. Соответственно, до того, как мы реализовали платформу, мы уже начали изучать технологии блокчейн, на самом деле технологии DLT, распределенного реестра. 5 лет назад мы делали пилотную сделку между крупным австрийским банком и крупнейшей российской телекоммуникационной компанией. Она прошла удачно, она была совершена в рамках законодательной песочницы с разрешения регулятора, и сделка прошла удачно. Но встал вопрос. Первое, конечно, это регулирование, как регулировать эту среду и как ее интегрировать и популяризировать, и какую экономику от этого получает индустрия. Что от этого? Быстрее работает, дешевле, расходов меньше, какой-то cost-cutting, или что мы от этого получаем. На тот момент, 5 лет назад, мы ответ на это не нашли. И всегда встает вопрос, сначала курица или яйцо, то есть инфраструктура формирует предложение на рынок, и рынок приходит к нам, или спрос формируется, приходит к инфраструктуре, и инфраструктура предлагает продукт какой-то. Вот это всегда достаточно сложный вопрос. И, конечно, вопрос компетенций. 5 лет назад уровень компетенций, экспертизы специалистов, которые работали в этой области, был сильно ниже. Сейчас уже сильно все продвинулось, и сейчас это делать легче. Сейчас время масштабировать, именно вот, как коллеги рассказывают, платформами, международными, едиными стандартами для того, чтобы уже сформировать в едином пространстве всех участников международных. И, конечно, одним из преимуществ инновационных технологий это и технологии блокчейн, DLT, это, конечно, трансграничные расчеты. Это новые возможности для того, чтобы уходить от классических способов взаимодействия уже в цифровые платформы.
Thank you, Mr. Burakov, for your explanations. It's exciting to hear the platform in Russia that you have mentioned, because you mentioned that the real persons, without the financial intermediary, they will deal with the platform directly. At the years of 2000, when I began this business, we were all talking about the disintermediation. How could it be? When will it be? And more than 20 years, now it's going more and more coming to in our days. And thanks for your information about the Russian developments in this perspective. Now I would like to turn to Turkey again. Ms. Elif Gönençer. As we know, there is a new law adopted for crypto assets and trading platforms in Turkey. And considering the cryptocurrency law in Turkey and the secondary regulations, what will be the role of the self-regulatory organization in law-making process, and in light of the development of digital assets and blockchain technology. Can you elaborate on that, please?
Yes, thank you, Ali İhsan. First of all, after more than 20 years of working together with you at this Capital Markets Board of Turkey and after my transition to Turkish Capital Markets Association, I'm delightful that we still work together very close and we remain united with the same mission, deepening and developing our capital markets. So it's a great pleasure to be here with you and with the distinguished panelists and guests. And I would also like to extend my gratitude to the Central Securities Depository of Turkey, MKK, for providing us with such a great opportunity to come together on this esteemed platform. I'd like to take a moment to have a saying about my association. Maybe you don't know our association. Turkish Capital Markets Association, as you have already told, Ali İhsan, is both a professional organization established in 2001 under capital markets law and also self-regulatory authority in status public institution. So we have 255 members, and our members are banks, securities firms, portfolio management companies, and investment trusts. And after this cryptocurrency law, all the crowdfunding platforms and crypto asset service providers, which are custodians and platforms, will also be our members. So it's getting broader and broader. And our aim is, of course, to set rules, professional rules, and also impose them some disciplinary rules. We have our own sub-regulations, and we can enforce them if they don't allow. And we also make some international congresses like this, and make seminars and give educations for the market professionals and also for the investors to increase their financial literacy. And so coming to your question, I think the introduction of this crypto law in Turkey, which is enacted in July this year, is a very important milestone and a revolutionary step for Turkey. And as soon as we enacted, we removed from the gray list, and all the credit rating agencies updated our grades, the scores of Turkey. And let me also give you highlight some of the key points of our regulation, which I consider it's very important, only a few ones. First of all, the term crypto assets is defined in our law as intangible assets that can be created and stored electronically using distributed ledger technologies or similar technologies, and distributed via digital network, and it will represent value or right. So some of the countries describes it in another way, but we use it as intangible assets. And the most important part of the regulation also is the separation of the platforms from the custodians. So all the platforms have to have an agreement with the custodians for the safety of the clients, for investor protection. This is, I think, important. And also we will allow also capital market instruments tokenization. This will, I think, encourage innovation in financial products and increase the liquidity, and also help to integrate the traditional financial markets with the crypto assets space. And maybe we will have hybrid financial products in the future. And also, thanks to our minister, treasury minister and finance minister, that there will be no tax. No taxes envisaged for the investors at the moment for their gains of this after this cryptocurrency transactions. And heavier penalties are envisaged for embezzlement crimes for the management of these platforms. And also NFTs and the game tokens are excluded from the listing requirements. So there are so many important key aspects of our regulations. So coming to your question, what is the TCMA's role? We have a unique position bringing together all the regulative parts of Turkey and the market participants. We already have established a working group with the crypto asset service providers, and we started our meetings with Capital Markets Board of Turkey, and Ali İhsan is the leader. Thank you also for this collaboration. So I think CMB's collaboration with the industry is very important here, because these regulations are now being developed with sector input, and we're trying to, of course, listen to what sector is thinking, what is the industry's needs and demands, what are the important parts in these technologies that we must not also hinder their operations, because the speed is very important for them. If there are too much bureaucratic hurdle for them, then it's also not very good for them. So we must not also hinder the efficiency of the system. So to make a regulation is really difficult, especially in this system. So we're trying to, integrate this. We will play a role in communicating the regulators. And according to our regulator, of course, Capital Markets Board of Turkey is the sole authority for the regulation and the oversight of this ecosystem. But for the IT infrastructure, TÜBİTAK is responsible, which TÜBİTAK is the Scientific and Technological Research Council, and also Financial Crimes Investigation Board, which is MASAK in short form, will also be responsible from the money laundering issues. So we will also have some meetings with them. For example, with MASAK, we will have a workshop. Also, not only with the platforms, but with also the audit firms, because they will also be responsible from the audit, especially the information system auditing. We also had recently a meeting with them. So we're taking all these views and try to merge it and try to submit it to the related regulators. So our aim is we're trying to ensure that the upcoming regulations can strike a balance between innovation and regulatory framework, and so that our framework will ensure transparency, investor protection, financial stability, and market integrity. And moreover, TCMB's role have an educational role also. So we will also try, for example, some webinars or some congresses only for cryptocurrency law, because these secondary regulations will be enacted until January 2025. So we have a little time left, a few months left. And after that, I think Turkey, we cannot stop Turkey. I think Turkey will have a very good, already has a very good place in the crypto assets. According to the Crypto Spring report of Chain Analysis this year, for example, it reveals that Turkey ranks as the largest crypto asset in MENA Group, and also 7th globally, and receiving $136.8 billion in value between July 23 and June 2024. So I think because of Turkey's strategic location, it's a bridge between, Eurasia and Europe and Asia. And also because of this dynamic and youthful and tech-savvy population, it provides a unique privilege for us. And also fintech technologies, and this sector is also growing very fast. There are also young people there, and they're also very adaptive to the technologies. Our traditional financial system is already very much digitalized. So if we also mix with all these advantages with future-forward approach of regulation, I think no one can stop Turkey, and we will be as one of the pioneers in the global world. Thank you.
Thanks, Elif. You have said an important word. You used innovation and traditional regulators. There has to be balance between this. And when we talk about the digital assets, that's an important point. And the self-regulatory organizations are important. They're playing a key role between the market participants and the regulators. And thanks for your works in that manner. Now, I would like to come back to Mr. Tarif. We would like to talk about the market integration and cross-border transactions. What are the regulatory challenges that you believe need to be addressed to facilitate market integration? And how regional regulators collaborate to overcome these challenges?
Yeah. In fact, there are many, when I look to what challenges that we have as regulators in terms of cross-border investment, I can't really figure out many of them. But I just want to focus on some of these challenges that I do believe it's very important. So I'm not going to talk about restriction on capital flow or capital control or taxation, because this is really can hinder any regional cross-border investment. So this is a traditional, let's say, type of issues that really can affect any regional cooperation or cross-border investment. So this needs to be settled either bilaterally or regionally. But I want to shed some light on some other issues, in particular the divergence of legal framework among jurisdictions. This is very crucial, and because having a different type of legal infrastructure will affect any cross-border trading or transaction or investment. This will create what is called the regulatory arbitrage, where investors can move from one jurisdiction to another, seeking an easier way of either listing or trading or whatever. So to avoid regulatory arbitrage, I think we need to make sure that our legal infrastructure for any cross-border participants is really at least with a minimum standard, so that this will make it easier for investor to trade on a cross-border trading. I think we have also to talk about the disclosure and reporting. This is also very crucial. It should be really clear that we have also a sort of a minimum standard for disclosure and for reporting, whether to use the international financial reporting system or a local one. We need to put together a sort of an agreement or multilateral agreement to deal with how regulators will deal with the disclosure and reporting system. This is very, very important. Another area of concern when we talk about technology, we have the evolution of technology with the blockchain and all this development. This is a huge challenge, and regulator and the market participants should be aware of this. We have to make sure that we have at least a sort of cooperation in terms of the market infrastructure. A market infrastructure, talking about the clearing, settlement, depository, trading platform, all these needs to be in a way or another talking together. And there is so many solutions that we can think of it regionally, including seeing what other models that they have introduced, like European model, for example, or some other models in some other regions. So I think we can start thinking of how we can create some regional platform whereby facilitating cross-border investment, like, for example, CCP, for example, regional CCP, which might reduce the counterparty risk which investor might have in mind, because as an investor, it's very important that you make sure that your counterpart risk is really handled in a good hand. There are two other important areas where I think it's very important. One of them is really the development that we have seen recently on ESG and sustainability. I think this is not a luxury. It's become very, very crucial for any cross-border investment, because when any investors want to invest, they want to make sure that the jurisdiction is taking care of the sustainability issue and the environment issue and the ESG in general, because I think it became one of the issues that needs to be addressed. The other important point is related to building the capacity. We have to, as a regional vehicle, to put more effort on the issue of on the issue of building the capacity for regulators, for the market participants, and for investors. It's very important, and from our side as a federation, we have introduced for our members more than 150 programs that can be implemented and can be introduced for them to enhance their capacity in terms of issues related to regulation or market oversight and some other issue. The other important issue related to the vehicle for cooperation. I think we have, as a federation, introduced multilateral memorandum of understanding, which is similar to the IOSCO MMOU, whereby exchange of information among jurisdictions. I think many of our regional jurisdictions, they have already member of IOSCO, and we can really benefit from what IOSCO can provide for members in terms of exchange of information. Very, very, very important, because I think this will enhance the issue of cooperation among members. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tarif. In the first session, you have said that everybody doesn't have to have the same rules. So they have flexibility. And one valuable thing you mentioned, besides other things, you said that we should avoid the regulatory arbitrage, divergence of legal framework. It's also important, very important for the digital era, and you said that the structures are also should cover this issue. Thank you for that. When we come back to the digital assets, I would like to turn to Mr. Halisdemir. What contributions can Turkey make to widespread adaptation of digital assets and tokenization throughout the region?
Thank you. Turkey's position in the region, which is with its connections 128 countries from Istanbul. Its highly developed human resource capacity in terms of quality and quantity. Its world standard financial institutions and the Istanbul Financial Center, which provides access to all global markets, makes it an important trade and finance hub for the region. Of course, such investments can be costly. I mixed up. Sorry about that. Our country's regionalization vision is not limited to financial institutions. Our membership in international arbitration and courts of justice provides a secure and transparent legal infrastructure for investors. On a regional scale, institutions and investors can access the financial world within the assurance that Turkey offers. All these advantages make Turkey an ideal hub for digital assets. Turkey is a base that will empower countries in the region in the digital and crypto asset race. Given all these factors, it's no surprise that we rank in the top 5 globally in crypto transaction volume. Aware of country's strengths, we have enhanced our capacity and completed our efforts to enable and the custodian banks and financial institutions in our region to provide digital asset services. Our goal is to create a hub where the assets of our country and neighboring nations can be securely stored, and to bring to regions access to global investors using blockchain-based technologies. We are moving forward with the goal of becoming an integration and business development center for digital assets Turkey. Of course, such investments can be costly for new participants. It takes at least a year to establish the technological infrastructure for custody and tokenization. It is a long and costly process. While all custodian and financial institutions in the global race are announcing new projects every day, there is no time to lose. At Mission, we are ready to provide digital asset services and the related technologies to you, with or ready to integrate tokenization and custody services to institutions we collaborate with will not only attract foreign investments to the assets in their countries, but will also provide solutions for the safekeeping of assets. Our partners will be able to position themselves in the ever-growing tokenization market. The Mission business leaders at our board are ready to share all of our services with you, from tokenization to digital asset custody, and discuss collaboration opportunities. Also, they are waiting for you outside of this session. We have a stand over there, and our members will be ready to respond to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Halisdemir. Mr. Buryakov, in the first session, you have given us important information about your country and the way you apply the platform to individual customers. Now, I would like to ask, what is the role of a CSD in a modern regulatory and business landscape? And also, how will you think the CSDs manage to keep their traditional role in financial markets in the future?
Сейчас не только Центральный депозитарий Российской Федерации, но и многие другие депозитарии акцентируют свое внимание не только на традиционной своей деятельности, core-деятельности, именно хранение ценных бумаг и расчеты, но и на комплементарных сервисах. И, конечно же, стараются внедрять эти новинки именно с помощью новых технологий. НРД, Центральный депозитарий России, является крупнейшим в стране, в СНГ и в Восточной Европе. Мы являемся центром для аккумулирования идей, запроса клиентов и проработки всех потребностей, которые есть на рынке. В первую очередь мы продолжаем инвестировать в DLT-технологии, разрабатывать платформы, которые помогали бы нам производить расчеты не только внутри страны, даже не столько внутри страны, сколько акцентироваться на трансграничных взаимоотношениях. Во-первых, это дает возможность более понятных процессов, дает возможность работать по единым правилам, которые могут быть не привязаны к локальному законодательству. Это определенная стандартизация, понятная для всех участников в рамках обмена в распределенном реестре. Но, конечно, сейчас на текущий момент есть несколько моментов, которые требуют дополнительной проработки. В первую очередь, для того, чтобы выстроить правильный трансграничный обмен, необходимо, конечно, взаимодействие между регуляторами тех стран, которые там участвуют, чтобы было взаимопонимание именно между регуляторами. У всех регуляторы разные, у кого-то национальные банки, у кого-то Министерство финансов, разные подходы, разные локальные законодательства. Нужно выходить из этого из этой концентрации локальных законодательств и давать возможность между собой участниками для реализации бизнес-задач, давать такую инфраструктуру, которая позволила бы обмениваться в более понятной среде. Но для этого обязательно нужно, чтобы была поддержка регулятора, чтобы регулятор сказал: да, это правильное направление, мы с вами идем дальше, двигаемся, и чтобы взаимодействие это было сформулировано понятно и ясно для участников. Второй момент – это, конечно, надежность учетной инфраструктуры. Об этом уже говорили на предыдущей панели. Все-таки депозитарии, они дают возможность инвесторам чувствовать себя спокойно, комфортно за те активы, которые они хранят в депозитарии. Потому что это надежная, доверенная среда и возможность учитывать свои ценные бумаги без риска их потери. Новые технологии должны давать такой же комфорт, даже больший комфорт для того, чтобы инвесторы приходили и вкладывали свои деньги в новые инструменты через новые технологии. И, конечно, третий момент, который очень важный, это формирование компетенций. Для того, чтобы масштабировать любую технологию, необходимо выращивать эту компетенцию, нарабатывать навык. И чтобы он был сформирован, опять же, не локально в какой-то среде, а именно международный был навык. Например, наша ассоциация, АЦДЕ, Ассоциация центральных депозитариев Евразии, мы проводим регулярные семинары и делимся теми наработанными навыками, которые мы собрали, которые мы изучили и которыми мы готовы делиться с нашими коллегами по ассоциации. Вот это очень важно. И после этого, после этих шагов будет сформирована почва, когда можно двигаться вперед и масштабировать эту технологию. Я думаю так.
Thank you very much, Mr. Greg, for your perspective, for sharing your perspective with us. Now, when we come back to Elif and the self-regulatory perspective. As a self-regulatory organization, what do you foresee as the primary obstacles in regulating the new financial instruments?
Yes, Ali İhsan. As a regulatory authority, self-regulatory authority, TCMA is proud that we have a wide range of financial instruments in our sector, in regulations and also in practice. We have the most traditional ones like mutual funds, pension funds, equities, bonds, warrants, EFTs, and all these Islamic products, sukuk and lease certificate, but also to newer ones like sustainable bonds and green bonds, and also some very recently regulated fund, which is Project Real Estate Investment Fund, for instance. And we, first of all, we have to, because of the green transition, I would take this question as a broader, I mean, not limited to digital assets. We are in an age of digitalization, but also green transformation is very, very, very important. Every country has its own commitments. So we have to diversify the financial channels for the SMEs. And banking credits is not enough for this. Capital markets will be an important financial help vehicle for them. So also it's included in the 12th development plan for our government, 2024-2028. Key policies were drafted there, and product diversity in financial sector, expanding the range of financial products, and broadening the investor base. And these key objectives were stated there, and also placing a strong emphasis in the development of the sustainable bonds or sustainable financial products, let's say. So CMB will also soon bring 2 new instruments there, social bonds and also sustainable linked bonds, which I found very important, these 2 vehicles. However, Turkey offers diverse options for the investors for mitigating their risks and for managing their risks and achieving their financial goals. However, if you look at the investors' preferences as of August 2024, almost 60% of the local residents' financial assets are composed of deposits, bank deposits. And equities represent only 13%, while all the domestic and foreign public and corporate bonds altogether combined represent 28%. So still we can say that our financial system is bank dominated. So as TCMA, we are trying to increase the financial literacy because the capital markets instruments are very much, in number, but they don't know about some of the instruments. Not every instrument is familiar with the investors. So our one of the role is to educate them. And we also, as an association, we have also some professional committees in our association. As I told earlier, we have so much different members groups. For example, portfolio management companies, banks, securities, they all have their own interests. So for each member groups, we have a professional committee. And every month, we come together and we discuss about the new issuances, new services, what are the difficulties that they concern. And if this is a common concern for the whole sector, then we're trying to find out some suggestions. If it's an amendment, if it's an amendment suggestion, then we also work on it to submit to the regulatory authority. And sometimes our capital market regulations cover a wide of instruments, but not all of them are actively implemented. For example, real estate certificates. This communique was published in 2017, but until then there was only one issuance. But at the moment, if you look at our economic conjuncture, we have high inflation and the credit loans are very much high. So it's a perfect time for also issue these real estate certificates. So with the CMB, we talked what can be the reason behind it? Is it because of the regulation itself, or is there any other reasons? So we found out that beside other things, awareness and promotion of this instrument among issuers and investors were not enough. So what we did was, in our social media, we always give for 1 or 2 months some contents about only to this instrument. Sometimes also there is a new issue coming to CMB, but it's not explicitly covered by any existing rules. But if it's a beneficial one, if it's good for everybody, then CMB should really be proactive to approve this issuance. For example, gold-backed warrants. Mint wanted to issue gold-backed warrants, which was also physically gold was given to the investors, warrant investors. So this was not explicitly covered by any current regulation, but they made an exception to the warrant communique, and which allowed this issuance. It worked quickly, and it was a very successful issuance and highly demanded. Why I'm saying that? Because sometimes regulators really must adapt a proactive solution for these kinds of things. These innovative products are very much important for us, I think. And so overly strictly regulated measures can really hinder innovation. So I want to emphasize once more that there must be a good balance between innovation and regulation. And I know that in the digital assets, this is completely a different area, I think. the cryptocurrency, crypto assets environment is really different. The technology is, blockchain technology is different. Also, the crypto assets are sometimes highly manipulative and or speculative, and they're highly fluctuated, their prices, there are cyber attacks and security problems. So it's really hard to regulate this. It's really hard to protect the investors. And there's another obstacle here. Regulations are humble, but technology is hyperactive. So in the normal conventional regulations, we as regulators, we were always proactive. But in this ecosystem, I think it's hard to be proactive. So we have to come after the technology, but we must always update our regulation. We must also all the time update our regulation according to the development of the technology. And one last thing that I would like to mention is the international cooperation. Market participants, regulators, and technology providers can collaborate together in Turkey, but also international cooperations between regulators is also important. They have to also come together very periodically and to discuss about their own experiences. This is very important, I think. Maybe we cannot eliminate all the risks, but we can still mitigate them. Thank you.
Thanks, Elif. I took my notes about the regulatory points, and I put a quotation on word humble. Thanks. Now we came to the end of our panel. I would like to thank our distinguished panelists for their participation and all the member states who are being here with us. It's a privilege to host you. I hope you will enjoy Turkey and Istanbul. Thank you.